Humanity waited silent in the shadows until the shadows moved. HFY. Sci-Fi story across the wide galaxy. Most star maps showed human space as dark and empty. Old notes described Earth as tired and slow, a world that once reached for the stars and then fell behind. New empires rose, wars burned whole systems, and powerful species carved borders with fleets of shining warships. Through it all, human territory stayed silent. Many believed humans had faded away. But silence was not weakness. Far beyond the busy trade routes, hidden near a cold and broken star, a small station drifted in darkness. Its lights were low. Its signals were almost impossible to detect. Inside, a single human watched the stars with steady eyes. His name was Aaron. Aaron was not young, but not old either. His hair was dark, touched with a few signs of age. His uniform was simple, without marks or medals. He did not need them. His role was not glory. His role was watching. The station had one main window, wide and clear. Through it, space looked calm. Too calm. Aaron checked the screens again. Long-range sensors showed faint movements at the edge of the system. At first, it looked like background noise. But Aaron had learned long ago that real danger often hid behind small signs. He leaned closer. The signals sharpened. Ships. Not one or two. Dozens, then hundreds. They were coming from deep space, moving in tight formation. Large ships, heavy with weapons. Their design was sharp and cold, built for conquest, not travel. Aaron's breath slowed. His hands moved with care. He confirmed the data 3 times. There was no mistake. An Alliance fleet was moving toward human borders. For years, reports had spoken of this alliance, a group of powerful worlds that expanded by force. They offered surrender first. If refused, they erased cities and turned planets into ash. Many species feared them. Some joined them to survive. Humans had never answered their messages. Now the Alliance was coming to see why. Aaron turned from the window and walked to the center console. The room was quiet except for the soft hum of systems older than most living empires. He placed his hand on a smooth panel. A hidden channel opened. He recorded a short message. Movement confirmed. Large fleet. Direction is inward. Shadows are moving. That was all. He sent the signal. No reply came back. There never was one. This channel did not work that way. It did not need to. Far away, beyond many jumps and layers of space, Earth received the message. Deep beneath the surface of the planet, in a place untouched by sunlight, people gathered in a wide hall. The walls were stone and metal, mixed together. The air was calm. No alarms sounded. No one shouted. A large screen showed Aaron's message. For several seconds, no one spoke. Then a woman stepped forward. Her name was Mira. She wore a simple jacket and carried herself with quiet strength. She looked at the people around her. Scientists, engineers, commanders. None of them looked surprised. "So it begins," she said. A man beside her nodded. "Earlier than expected, but not too early." Mira turned to the screen again. "Wake the outer systems." Hands moved. Old machines came alive. Across Earth and its hidden colonies, systems that had slept for generations began to stir. Power flowed into deep channels. Massive structures shifted far below the surface and far above the atmosphere. Humanity did not rush. Humanity prepared. Back at the hidden station, Aaron continued to watch. The Alliance fleet moved closer. As they entered the outer edge of human space, something strange happened. Their formation slowed. Several ships adjusted course, spreading out as if unsure. Their sensors showed empty space, yet something felt wrong. Invisible pressure fields tugged at their hulls. Signals bounced back with odd delays. Aaron allowed himself a small breath. The first layer was active. One of the Alliance ships moved ahead of the rest, bold and impatient. It crossed an unseen line. Space folded. The ship did not explode. It did not vanish. Instead, it froze in place, locked inside a gravity net that bent light and sound. Its engines screamed silently. More ships tried to pull it free. They failed. The Alliance fleet halted. From the trapped ship, a message was sent out on open channels. It was harsh and full of anger, a demand to show themselves. No answer came. Minutes passed. Then a human outpost appeared. It did not arrive with fire or noise. It simply unfolded from the dark, like a shadow taking shape. Smooth. Simple. Strong. Mira stood on the command deck of that outpost. She looked at the trapped enemy ship on the main display. "Hold position," she ordered. "No weapons fire." Some officers hesitated. "They are heavily armed." "I know," Mira said. "That is why we show restraint." A transmission was sent, calm and clear. "You are in restricted space. Power down and wait." The Alliance fleet did not expect that tone. They expected fear or defiance, not control. They answered with threats. Mira listened without emotion. When the message ended, she nodded once. "Reduce their engines to 0, she said. Human systems reached out. The trapped ship went dark. No damage, no deaths, just silence. The rest of the fleet backed away slowly. Far across the galaxy, Alliance leaders received reports filled with confusion and disbelief. Humans were not weak. Humans were not gone. Humans had been waiting. While fear spread among the attackers, something else moved unnoticed. Beyond known space, deeper than charts could reach, shadows shifted. They had watched wars for ages. They had fed on conflict and collapse. They did not care who won. Only that suffering continued. Now they felt something new. Unity. Back on Earth, as reports flowed in, a young engineer named Leo worked alone in a quiet chamber. He monitored energy levels from ancient structures buried under mountains and oceans. His hands trembled slightly, not from fear, but from awe. "These systems were built before my great-grandparents were born," he whispered. A voice replied through his headset. "And they still work." Leo smiled faintly. "Better than expected. Above Earth, unseen by most, defense rings aligned into position. They did not glow or threaten. They simply existed, ready." Humanity remembered its past. Long ago, humans fought each other. They burned their own world and almost destroyed themselves. That pain taught them patience. They chose to step back, to watch others repeat the same mistakes. They built quietly. They learned. They waited. Now the galaxy was knocking on their door. At the hidden station, Aaron received new data. Not from the Alliance fleet, from something else. A cold signal. Old. Hungry. His eyes widened slightly. He sent another message. "Unknown presence detected. Not Alliance. Unknown species." This time, the silence on the channel felt heavier. On Earth, Mira read the report. Her expression hardened. "So the deeper shadows move as well," she said softly. Around her, leaders stood straighter. This was the reason for the waiting. This was the threat, written in old warnings and sealed records. Humanity had not hidden from the galaxy. Humanity had hidden for it. As the stars shifted and unseen forces gathered, one truth became clear. The silence was ending. And when it ended, the galaxy would learn what humans had become while they waited in the dark. The Alliance fleet had halted near the edge of human space. Their ships, once proud and loud with engines and energy, now floated in quiet confusion. They had expected fear, surrender, or even destruction. They had not expected restraint. Commander Mira watched the fleet from the human outpost. She stood tall, her eyes steady on the main screen. Around her, officers moved silently, each focused on their task. Every human system was coordinated like a single mind. A scout ship from the Alliance tried to move closer. It crossed the invisible boundary laid by human forces. Sensors locked onto it, and a strange force gripped the ship. Engines flared, then stilled. Mira did not celebrate. She only nodded. "Hold your fire," she said. "We are not here to kill. We are here to warn." The trapped ship's captain sent a message, furious and demanding. "Identify yourselves! Release us immediately, or we will destroy everything you have!" Mira pressed a button. Her voice was calm but firm. "You are in restricted space. Leave or remain at your own risk. We will not attack unless provoked." The Alliance officers glanced at each other. They had never seen a civilization so confident and quiet. Their systems could not match this level of control. Panic began to ripple among them, small but unmistakable. Meanwhile, Aaron monitored the same scene from his hidden station near the Dark Star. His eyes narrowed. Beyond the Alliance fleet, other signals moved. Subtle, faint, ancient. Something larger than the Alliance. Something that had been waiting for centuries. Aaron sent a silent alert. His message was simple. Unknown presence detected. Shadows moving closer. On Earth, the alert reached Mira immediately. She leaned over the console, reading the report. Her mind worked fast. "They are not attacking us yet," she said, "but they are watching. They know we exist." A young officer named John spoke up. "Commander, if we engage them now, we risk revealing everything." "They are not like the Alliance. They are something older." Mira nodded. "Then we wait. We prepare. They will test us. That is when we show them why humanity has survived." Back at the Alliance fleet, fear began to spread. The trapped ships did not explode. They did not even appear damaged, yet they could not move. Messages poured in, reports of strange phenomena along the perimeter. Gravity anomalies, energy distortions. Ships vanishing briefly and then returning. No human weapons could do this. They were far too advanced. The Alliance commanders were forced to admit something impossible. Humans were not just surviving, they were prepared. Their technology and tactics were unlike anything in the galaxy. And then, the Shadows made their first move. Not directly at humans. Not at the Alliance. Instead, they struck a small uninhabited planet near the edge of the system. It was insignificant, barely mapped by anyone. Yet in minutes, the planet was erased from sensors. No debris, no radiation spike. Nothing remained. The Alliance fleet trembled. Their captains whispered in fear. "They can do that?" Aaron watched from his station. He had expected this. The Shadows had been waiting. They fed on war, chaos, and fear. But humans did not give in to fear. Humans did not fight blindly. Mira's eyes narrowed as she considered the situation. She called a meeting with her commanders. The room was quiet. The only sound the hum of machines. "We cannot fight them in the open," she said. "Not yet. They are older than the stars we know. But we can defend. We can protect. And we can teach the galaxy that patience is power." A young engineer, Lio, spoke up. "Commander, the ancient systems are ready. The networks beneath Earth can extend into nearby systems. We can hold them off, at least for a time." Mira nodded. "Good. Prepare the outer defenses. Keep communication open with the Alliance fleet. They must understand that humans are not to be underestimated."
At that moment, John brought new data to the table.
"Commander, I have detected multiple unidentified vessels approaching. They are neither human nor Alliance. Their energy signatures are unlike anything we have recorded. They are moving in silence." Mira's expression hardened. The Shadows. They are finally moving from their hiding places. The room grew tense. For decades, humanity had studied, prepared, and waited. Ancient records had warned of this moment. Generations had trained for the day when the galaxy's true predator arrived. Mira's voice was calm, but firm. "We act carefully. They are strong, but not invincible. Remember, we survived everything else. We will survive this too." Meanwhile, across Earth, scientists and historians worked in quiet coordination. They brought forward ancient knowledge, devices hidden for centuries, and records of battles long forgotten. Humanity was awakening. The past and present merged into a force ready to defend the future. Aaron watched the shadows from his station. Their movements were purposeful, almost intelligent. They did not attack randomly. They studied. They tested. They were predators, and the galaxy was their prey. Yet humanity had learned patience and strategy from centuries of hiding. John spoke again.
They will come closer. We cannot allow them to strike first.
We need to demonstrate that we are ready without provoking them fully. Mira nodded. Then we use restraint. We show power, not destruction. We will not kill them unless they force our hand. In space, the Alliance fleet began to cooperate with humans, though reluctantly. Some were curious. Some were afraid. But all could see the truth. Humanity was no longer silent. Humanity was awake. Aaron's sensors picked up a distant signature. A ship moving faster than any known engine could allow. It blinked in and out of existence, passing between systems silently. He sent another alert. Unknown vessel approaching. Movement not consistent with Alliance ships. Shadow Fleet may be probing human defenses.
On Earth, Mira received the warning. So it begins, she said softly.
The shadows are testing us. We show them we are prepared. In the outer systems, human defense fleets took positions. They did not move aggressively. They formed a pattern that was calm yet strong, ready for any attack. Their presence alone confused the Shadow Scouts. They were not expecting resistance, only observation. The first direct encounter came without warning. A small human convoy, carrying resources to a mining station, was intercepted by alien ships. The humans did not panic. Using subtle manipulation of space currents, the convoy avoided destruction, guiding the alien ships into harmless zones. The aliens were confused. How can they control space like this? One asked. Aaron's voice came through the communication channels, calm and measured. They learned to wait, to observe, and to adapt. This is humanity. You are seeing only a fraction of what they can do. Mira monitored every movement, every system, every anomaly. She knew patience was her greatest weapon. She also knew the galaxy would soon see the truth. The shadows moved closer, and the Alliance fleet began to take caution. Ships that once felt confident now hesitated. They whispered rumors among themselves. Some spoke of humanity's hidden fleets, of structures that could bend space, of weapons they did not yet understand, and yet humans did not seek war. They only sought survival and preparation. John looked at Myra. Commander, if we maintain this pattern, we can protect Earth and nearby systems. We can buy time for the galaxy to respond, for alliances to form. Mira nodded. Time is what we need. The shadows cannot strike fully until they understand what they face. We give them patience, and we give ourselves strength. Leo, monitoring energy flow from the ancient networks, added, Commander, we can extend our field to cover several nearby colonies. They will be safe, at least for now. Mira smiled faintly. Then that is what we do. We defend, we wait, and we prepare. The galaxy will see that humanity is not weak. Humanity is patient, and patience can be deadly.
Aaron returned to his observation post.
His eyes traced the slow, calculated movements of the shadows. He understood their pattern.
They were not reckless. They had waited for eons.
But humanity had waited too. For centuries, humans had studied, learned, and hidden. Now, for the first time, they were showing the galaxy what they had become. The Alliance fleet, unsure of what to do, began to fall into patterns dictated by human strategy. The shadows, observing silently, had yet to test full power. And at that moment, humanity's hidden networks hummed with quiet energy. Ships moved in silence. Structures shifted beneath planets. Sensors read every movement, every fleet, every vessel, every shadow was known. The galaxy would soon learn that the quiet observer was the most dangerous of all. Mira stood on the deck, calm and unshaken. Let them come, she said. We will meet them, and the galaxy will remember why humans survived when all others fell. The shadows moved. Humanity waited, silent and ready. The first true battle had not yet begun, but the stage was set. The galaxy's understanding of strength was about to change forever. And somewhere deep in the dark, The shadows sensed it too. They had waited centuries. Humanity had waited longer. The galaxy would soon see which patience held the greater power. The galaxy had grown used to war. Fleets moved, systems fell, and worlds burned. It believed it understood power. It did not. The shadows were older than any living star. They had waited through countless empires, feeding on fear, feeding on chaos. They moved now with a slow and deliberate patience, letting nothing disturb their path. Aaron watched from his hidden station. His eyes followed the strange vessels that blinked in and out of normal space, probing human systems. He noted every movement, every pause. Humans had waited for this. They had studied this. On Earth, Mira gathered her council once again. The reports were urgent. Shadow scouts had entered the outer systems. They moved faster than light in irregular patterns. Entire fleets disappeared and reappeared, testing human response. They are learning, Mira said. They do not know us yet, but they are studying, a historian Enna spoke up. Commander, they are more dangerous than anything we imagined. They can destroy fleets without firing a shot. We cannot beat them with weapons alone, Mira nodded. Then we fight with something greater. Humanity survives because we do not just use power. We use strategy, patience, and unity. That is what they cannot understand. John the strategist watched the screens carefully. They are testing our alliances too. Some nearby species have begun sending ships toward us. They do not trust humans, but they fear the shadows even more. We may gain allies if we survive the first encounter. Blade monitored energy flows from Earth's hidden networks. All systems are ready. We can protect not only Earth, but the surrounding colonies. The shadows will strike first, and when they do, they will find themselves unprepared for nothing. We will not be weak. In space, the shadows' first real strike came quietly. They did not fire weapons. They did not signal. They moved a fleet of massive ships into the neutral space near a human colony. The colony's sensors recorded nothing until the ships were already among them. Then the shadows acted. Entire fleets disappeared. Sensors showed massive distortions. Communication systems went dead. Panic swept through the nearby human scouts. But humans did not panic. Mira calmly ordered defensive measures. Gravity fields shifted, redirecting the shadows' attacks harmlessly around the colony. Shields of ancient design activated, not violently, but enough to confuse the enemy. The shadows had expected chaos. They found order. The Alliance fleet watched in disbelief. "How are they doing this?" one captain whispered. "They are controlling space itself." Aaron studied the fleet from his station. He recorded every move. He sent updates to Earth. But Mira already knew the results. She had prepared for this. Every human system, every fleet, every hidden weapon was synchronized. Humanity was a single organism now, calm and precise. Meanwhile, the shadows observed from deeper space. They did not understand emotion, loyalty, or unity. They understood destruction and fear. Humans had none of that in the traditional sense. They had fear, yes, but they controlled it. They had loss, yes, but they used it to strengthen themselves. Mira watched the Shadow Scouts retreat after their first attack. "They will test us again," she said. "And again. Every time we show them that patience is our strength." John nodded. "They are probing for weaknesses. We have none they can see, but they will find our resolve." On a distant colony, civilian engineer Leo worked to reinforce the ancient networks. He adjusted systems that had been built centuries ago, long before humans withdrew into the shadows. The machines hummed with energy, linking colonies and fleets together. "These systems," Leo said quietly, "were built for survival, not war. Yet they are doing both now." Aaron's sensors detected something new. A shadow vessel moved differently from the others. It did not probe or attack. It watched. Its energy signature was strange, almost intelligent. Aaron's pulse quickened. "They are learning from us," he muttered. "They will not strike blindly again. On Earth, Mira received his report. "Then we act carefully," she said. "We show strength, not aggression. They will understand that patience is deadly." Across human space, scouts reported the Shadow's next move. Entire fleets of alien species were being observed and subtly manipulated. The Shadows did not attack directly. They tested loyalty, fear, and courage. They wanted to see who would falter. Mira and her commanders monitored the reports. "They are predators," she said. "They do not care who lives or dies, only that chaos spreads. We do not give them that. We show unity instead." John calculated probabilities and outcomes. They cannot destroy us unless we let them. They are strong, but they are not invincible. Our knowledge and preparation give us the advantage. Leo's systems extended protective fields to nearby colonies, he whispered to himself. They move in silence, but we are ready. Always ready. The Shadows moved again, this time faster and closer. Their vessels blinked in and out of normal space. A small fleet approached a human supply station, expecting no defense. But the station was not empty. Humans had prepared traps, not to kill, but to confuse. Gravity anomalies slowed the Shadow fleet. Energy nets redirected their movements. Ships that thought themselves free were caught and released harmlessly. The Shadows paused. They did not understand why their attacks failed. They had faced many civilizations. They had destroyed many worlds. They had never faced patience and control like this. Mira watched the Shadow fleet hesitate on the screen. "They are learning," she said. "But we are still ahead," Ina the historian added. "They may be stronger than anything we have seen, but they cannot understand hope, unity, or purpose. That is our power." John calculated their next likely moves. They will test human emotion next. They will try to make us doubt ourselves. Mira nodded. "Then we show them our will. We do not flinch. We do not fear. We prepare, and we act together." In the Shadows movement, a strange anomaly appeared. Entire fleets vanished without warning. Sensors showed nothing. Yet the fleets were still there, invisible to detection. The Shadows were learning. Yes, but so were humans. Aaron's voice came over the secure channel. "Commander, the Shadows are probing deeper. Their methods are changing. They are attempting to manipulate perceptions." Mira's eyes narrowed. "Then we will control what they see. We will not be fooled by Shadows. We do not respond with panic. We respond with strategy." Across Earth and its colonies, humans moved with precision. Ships maneuvered in silence. Energy flowed through hidden networks. Sensors recorded every anomaly. Every fleet, every vessel, every Shadow movement was noted, studied, and countered. The galaxy watched, unaware. The Alliance fleet whispered among themselves. The civilizations that once thought humans weak began to doubt everything they knew. And the Shadows waited. They could feel it. Humans were not the fragile species they had expected. They were not desperate. They were patient, prepared, and unified. John spoke quietly. "They will strike emotionally next. They will try to break morale." Mira smiled faintly. "Then we will show them why humans survived when others fell. Fear cannot control us. Chaos cannot guide us. Hope and unity can." In the deep dark of space, the Shadows moved closer. They were ancient. They were powerful. They had waited centuries for prey. But humans had waited longer. They had learned. They had prepared. And when the first true attack came, the Shadows would find more than resistance. They would find strategy, strength, and the unexpected force of a species that had survived by waiting in silence. The galaxy had never seen patience like this, and the Shadows, for the first time, sensed uncertainty. The first true test was not over. It had only begun. Humans waited, silent and ready. And when the Shadows struck again, they would find themselves facing more than just ships. They would face the will of an entire species that had learned to survive in darkness, to strike with knowledge, and to endure against impossible odds. The stage was set. The shadows moved. Humanity had already moved first. The battle for the galaxy was beginning. They moved silently through the dark stretches of space, massive vessels hidden in irregular patterns. Entire fleets vanished and reappeared at will. Their presence alone made systems tremble. Civilizations that once thought themselves strong whispered in fear of the silent predators. But humans were ready. Commander Mira stood on the deck of a massive orbital station. The planet below glimmered softly with energy fields that had lain dormant for centuries. She watched the sensors carefully. The shadows were entering human space in force. Their vessels moved faster, testing every response. "We are ready," she said calmly. Her voice was steady, even as tension gripped the room. "Prepare all systems. Activate defensive arrays fully, not for attack, for protection."
A young officer, John, moved to the console.
"Commander, they are probing more than defenses now. I detect multiple vessels moving in irregular paths. They are testing our reactions, learning from every maneuver." Mira nodded. "Then we show them that patience is power. We do not rush. We do not fear. Every step is calculated. Every fleet is coordinated. We fight as one." Leo, the engineer monitoring ancient networks beneath the planet, spoke from his console. "All systems are online. The outer rings are active. Defensive fields extend to nearby colonies. Any attack will be intercepted before it reaches population centers." Mira smiled faintly. "Good. That is exactly what we need. Keep all energy flows stable. Every vessel, every station, every weapon must operate as a single organism." Above, in the cold emptiness of space, shadow fleets approached. They did not fire. They did not signal. They moved as one entity, probing, testing, calculating. But humans were no longer hidden. Every movement of the shadows was anticipated. Aaron watched from his hidden station. He recorded everything, every anomaly, every energy fluctuation, every subtle shift. The shadows were stronger than any known species, yet humans had waited for this moment. They were prepared not just to survive, but to protect others. Mira's voice came over secure channels. "The shadows will strike where we are most unprepared. They cannot understand patience. But patience is our greatest weapon." A civilian engineer, Leo, activated a hidden network link. Energy flowed from the planet, through orbital stations and into fleets spread across multiple systems. Ships became part of a larger structure, moving together as if guided by a single mind. The shadows struck their first real target, a human mining colony near the edge of the system. Their massive vessels blinked in and out of normal space, intending to overwhelm sensors and strike without warning. But humans were ready. Gravitational fields shifted, redirecting shadow vessels harmlessly. Energy nets confused their movement. Ships that believed themselves free were caught and released repeatedly, unable to land an attack. The shadows hesitated. They did not understand. Every civilization they had faced had fallen to fear or confusion. Humans remained calm. They acted with precision. They survived by strategy, not instinct. Mira watched carefully. "Do not attack yet. Let them test. Let them reveal their patterns. We do not need destruction. We need observation." John studied the readings. "They are trying to provoke emotion. They will attempt to create panic. We cannot allow that." Across human systems, communication channels hummed with coordination. Every fleet, every station, every colony was linked. Sensors predicted movements. Shields activated before attacks arrived. Humans were everywhere and nowhere at once. The shadows moved closer. Entire fleets appeared near human borders. They were silent, deadly, and patient. They had expected fear. They had expected chaos. Instead, they found control. Aaron sent another alert. "Unknown vessel approaching. Energy signature unlike previous scouts. They are learning from us. They will attempt a full strike soon."
Mira nodded. "Then we continue as planned."
Defensive positions only. Restrain. Protect. Show them that power without understanding is useless. The first direct attack came hours later. Shadow vessels moved in coordination toward Earth. They did not fire. They sought to test human perception, their sensors, their control. Ships blinked in and out of space. Entire fleets disappeared, only to reappear in unexpected positions. Human fleets responded. Ships moved in patterns that disrupted shadow maneuvers. Energy nets deflected movement. Gravity fields slowed approaches. The Shadow's precision met equal precision. For every probe there was a counter. For every movement there was prediction. The Alliance fleets watched in disbelief. "How can they do this?" one officer whispered. "They control space itself." On Earth, Mira's eyes narrowed. "They cannot destroy us unless we let them. Patience, coordination, and strategy will hold. They do not understand human strength yet." John calculated probabilities. "They are testing emotions. They will attempt to exploit fear. Do not falter." Leo monitored energy levels. The outer rings can extend protection to surrounding colonies. "They will survive this strike. Our systems hold." The Shadows hesitated for the first time. They had faced many species. They had never met one that reacted with calm precision. Humans did not panic. They did not retreat. They did not attack blindly. Humans were a single organism, coordinated and controlled. Mira issued quiet orders. "Maintain position. Do not engage offensively. Let them learn that aggression alone does not win battles. Humanity will protect itself and others without unnecessary violence." Aaron studied the Shadow's movements. "They are learning," he said softly. "They are adapting, but they do not know us yet." Not fully. The Shadow's next strike came silently. They attempted to manipulate perception, creating false readings, illusions, and signals meant to confuse human systems. Entire fleets blinked out of sensors, reappeared in wrong locations, and tested human reaction. Humans remained calm. Coordination between fleets and colonies held. False readings were identified and corrected. The illusions failed. The Shadows could not predict strategy or patience. Mira watched the main display. "They will try again. Every time we show them patience and unity. Every time they fail." John studied calculations. The Shadows are using ancient tactics. They feed on fear, chaos, and confusion. But humans do not fear like that. We use fear to strengthen ourselves. Across human colonies, engineers worked tirelessly. Energy flowed through ancient networks. Every ship, station, and defensive array became part of a single structure. Humans moved as one, silent and precise. Leo whispered to himself, "They may be older than stars, but we have waited longer. We have prepared. We will survive." The Shadows hesitated again. They had never encountered a species so ready. They had never faced patience that matched their own centuries of waiting. They observed, calculated, and adjusted. Mira spoke softly to her officers. "Every fleet, every system, every person plays a part. We survive not because we are stronger in firepower, but because we are stronger in will, coordination, and understanding." John nodded. "They will attempt to attack morale next. We cannot allow fear or despair to spread. Every human must remain united." The Shadows moved closer. Their first full strike would come soon. Entire fleets were preparing. The galaxy watched, unaware of the strength building in human space. Aaron sent another alert. "They are focusing on Earth. They are preparing for the first decisive engagement. Humanity is ready. So is Earth." Mira's voice was calm, but firm. "Let them come. They will not find chaos. They will not find fear. They will find strategy, unity, and the patience that has kept humanity alive through centuries." In the darkness of space, the Shadows sensed something new. Humans were no longer weak. They were not naive. They were ready. The first true battle had not yet begun. But when it did, The shadows would find themselves facing a species that had mastered patience, unity, and strategy beyond any expectation. The galaxy had never seen anything like this, and the shadows, for the first time, felt hesitation. Humanity waited, silent and prepared. The shadows moved. Humanity would not move blindly. They would strike with knowledge. They would protect, endure, and survive. The stage was set. The next move would define the galaxy, and when the shadows struck fully, they would find more than resistance. They would find a species that had waited longer, learned more, and prepared better than anything they had faced before. They had watched, probed, and tested human systems for weeks. Their fleets moved with deadly precision, appearing in sudden bursts and vanishing just as quickly. Entire colonies felt their presence before they ever saw them. Every civilization in the outer systems whispered about the silent predators creeping closer. Fear spread among them, but humans did not panic. Commander Mira stood on the command deck of the orbital station above Earth. She watched the main display as new shadow vessels appeared. They did not attack immediately. Instead, they created distortions in space meant to confuse sensors and disrupt communication. Their first real attempt at breaking human coordination had begun.
"They want to test our morale," Mira said quietly. "They want to see fear and doubt."
They will not find it. John the strategist scanned the readings. They are attempting to manipulate perception. They will try to make us doubt ourselves. If they succeed, they may find an opening. Mira shook her head. Then we show them our will. We will not falter. We will endure. Every fleet, every system, every person plays a role. Humanity is prepared. On Earth, Aina, the historian, addressed the civilians and scientists connected through the network. "Do not fear what they do," she said. "We have survived the greatest threats by waiting, by learning, and by trusting each other. That is our strength." Lio, the engineer overseeing the energy networks beneath the surface, adjusted controls carefully. Channels of power flowed through ancient machines, long forgotten, but still capable. Energy grids connected orbital stations, fleets, and colonies in a single coordinated defense system. "The shadows can manipulate perception," Leo said, "but they cannot control our unity. That is what will hold us." Aaron, observing from the hidden station near the Dark Star, detected a new pattern. Shadow vessels began targeting smaller human fleets, creating illusions of destruction. Ships appeared to explode, vanish, or lose control. Panic could have spread quickly, but humans acted as one. Every false reading was corrected, every anomaly predicted, every fleet moved with silent precision. The shadows' illusions failed. Their attempts to create chaos were met with calm control. Mira monitored the displays. "Do not engage unnecessarily," she instructed. "We are not here to destroy blindly. We are here to endure and observe. Let the shadows reveal themselves fully." The shadows adapted. Their next strike focused not on ships, but on human perception itself. They projected memories, fears, and doubts into communication channels, attempting to confuse humans and make them hesitate. Entire fleets reported sudden visions of defeat, cities destroyed, and friends lost. John's voice remained calm. "Commander, they're trying to break morale. We cannot allow it. Focus on unity. Focus on control. We must not respond emotionally." Mira nodded. "We endure together. We will not falter. Humanity does not give in to fear." Across human space, energy fields glimmered as fleets moved in perfect coordination. Ships appeared where they were not, shields activated before attacks arrived, and communication was maintained even through shadow interference. Lio monitored energy levels. The outer rings can extend protection further than expected. Colonies will survive even if the shadows strike directly. "Our systems are holding." Ina addressed the wider human network. "The shadows feed on war and fear. They do not understand hope. They do not understand patience. That is why we survive. That is why we endure." In the shadows' perspective, confusion grew. They had faced countless civilizations. They had destroyed worlds without hesitation, but humans reacted differently. They did not panic. They did not fight blindly. Every move was precise, every fleet coordinated, every mind prepared. Aaron observed their movements. "They are learning, yes," he said, "but they cannot understand human strength. They cannot grasp patience or unity." The Shadows tried another tactic. The card acted on the movies. They projected an entire fleet as destroyed, creating the illusion of a massive human loss. Panic should have spread. The Alliance fleet watched in disbelief. "They cannot be real," one captain muttered. "Everything we see is false. How do we respond?" Mira smiled faintly. "Then we show them truth. We act as if nothing has changed. Calm, precise, united." John adjusted fleet movements. Every ship moved as part of a single organism, responding instantly to any shadow manipulation. They did not hesitate. They did not panic. They endured. The Shadows realized something they had never encountered before. Humans could feel fear, doubt, and loss, but those emotions did not control them. Humans could endure suffering, process it, and act with clarity and purpose. The Shadows' oldest tactic, using fear to destroy, was useless. On a remote colony, a civilian engineer activated hidden defense mechanisms. Shields extended, fleet positions adjusted, and communication lines rerouted automatically. The Shadows struck, but every strike was countered before it could cause damage. Leo whispered to himself, "They move silently, but we are ready. Always ready." The Shadows paused, sensing resistance they could not understand. They had assumed humans would react like other civilizations. They would panic. They would flee. They would fail. Instead, humans acted with patience, control, and unity. Mira addressed her officers. "This is only the beginning. They will escalate. They will push harder. But we hold. We endure. Every system, every fleet, every human contributes. We do not break. We do not falter. We survive." John added, "Their focus will shift. They will attempt to isolate fleets, create confusion, and force mistakes. We cannot allow it. Our strength is coordination, strategy, and resolve." The Shadows tried again. They attempted to infiltrate human communication networks with illusions and false commands. Entire fleets appeared to receive orders to retreat or attack recklessly. Panic could have spread like wildfire. But humans acted instantly. Systems identified false commands, corrected them, and responded precisely. Ships remained in formation. Communication remained clear. Morale did not waver. Aaron monitored everything from the hidden station. "They are learning," he said. "They are testing every weakness, but we have none they can see." On Earth, Mira watched the main display. "They will continue to test us, but every test fails. They cannot understand patience, preparation, or unity. They cannot break what has been built over centuries." Anna addressed civilians and scientists. "The Shadows feed on fear and chaos. Humans do not respond that way. We endure. We survive, we protect. That is why they cannot destroy us." Leo monitored energy levels carefully. "All networks are stable. Every fleet is coordinated. Every colony is safe. The Shadows strike, but they achieve nothing." The Shadows sensed frustration for the first time. They had expected victory, or at least confusion. Instead, humans reacted with precision, patience, and coordination. Every attempt to manipulate perception failed. Every attack was countered without unnecessary violence. Mira spoke quietly to her officers. "This is our advantage. They understand power, not patience. They understand aggression, not strategy. We will show them what waiting in silence creates." John adjusted fleet positions, ensuring that every movement countered potential shadow attacks. "We cannot attack blindly. We only defend and observe. Every step is calculated. Every response is precise." Across human space, fleets moved as one. Networks hummed with energy, and colonies remained untouched. The Shadows attempted to strike emotionally, mentally, and strategically. Every strike was countered, every illusion seen through, every attack neutralized. The shadows began to understand that humans were unlike any species they had encountered. They could manipulate energy, space, and perception, but humans had learned patience, endurance, and unity beyond their comprehension. Aaron observed their hesitation. They sense it. Humans are not weak. Humans are prepared. They cannot destroy what has been built through centuries of learning and waiting.
Mira addressed her council.
We endure, we protect, and we prepare. Every test they send, every strike they attempt, strengthens our position. Humanity will survive this, not through raw power, but through patience, unity, and wisdom. John added, they will escalate further. They may strike directly next, but we are ready. Every system, every fleet, every person contributes. The galaxy will see that humans are not weak. We are prepared for what is coming. The shadows moved again. Their fleet blinked in and out, testing defenses, probing systems, and attempting to create chaos. Humans did not respond with panic. They did not attack blindly. They endured. They observed. They protected. Across the galaxy, civilizations began to notice. The Alliance fleet whispered among themselves. Humans are not as weak as we thought. They are more dangerous than expected. They are prepared, patient, and coordinated. Anna spoke to every human network. Remember why we waited. Remember why we prepared. The shadows cannot break what is united, what is patient, what is determined. Humanity endures because we have learned to wait, to prepare, and to survive. The shadows sensed something new, resistance they could not overcome with fear. Power alone would not destroy humans. The oldest tactics in the galaxy failed against them. Mira stood on the deck, calm, steady, and resolute. Let them come. They will not find fear. They will not find chaos. They will find patience, unity, and the strength of a species that has endured centuries. Humanity survives, and the galaxy will see why. The shadows moved. Humanity waited. And when the next strike came, the galaxy would learn that humans were not only prepared, they were unstoppable when united and patient. The stage was set. The shadows would find more than resistance. They would find a species that had mastered patience, endurance, and coordination beyond any expectation. The battle for survival was reaching its climax, and the galaxy's understanding of power would never be the same. For centuries they had waited in silence, feeding on the chaos of the galaxy. They had seen countless empires rise and fall, fleets burn, and worlds crumble. But humans had never been part of that chaos. Humans had waited. They had hidden. They had learned. And now, the shadows were about to discover what that waiting had built. Commander Mira stood on the deck of the orbital station above Earth. Her eyes scanned the displays as fleets of shadow vessels appeared at the edge of human space. Entire armadas blinked in and out of normal sensors, moving unpredictably. This was no longer testing. This was a full advance. John, her strategist, studied the readings. They are striking directly now. They have abandoned subtle probes. Every system is being tested simultaneously. They want to see our true response. Mira nodded calmly. Then we show them what patience and unity can create. Every fleet moves as one. Every station responds instantly. Every human is part of a single organism. Leo, monitoring the ancient networks deep under the planet, adjusted controls to their maximum capacity. Energy flowed into orbital stations, ships, and colonies like a single river. Defensive shields activated across multiple systems. Communications were protected from interference, even as the shadows attempted to manipulate perception and create illusions. They are stronger than any threat we have faced, Leo said quietly. But they cannot break what has been built over centuries. Aaron, observing from his hidden station, recorded everything. The shadows' vessels blinked, vanished, and reappeared, but humans anticipated each movement. Gravitational fields shifted fleets. Energy nets redirected attacks, and illusions meant to create confusion were neutralized instantly.
They do not understand, Aaron muttered.
They feed on fear and chaos. Humans feel fear, yes, but they do not let it control them. They endure, adapt, and survive. That is their power.
The Shadow's first direct strike hit a mining colony near the outer rim. Massive vessels blinked into existence, expecting the colony to be defenseless.
But humans had anticipated the attack. Gravitational fields pulled shadow ships into harmless positions. Energy nets confused their movement. Shields rendered the attack ineffective. Mira watched the reports silently. Every strike is met with strategy, not panic, she said. Every test they throw at us fails. They cannot understand patience and coordination. John calculated the next likely moves of the Shadow Fleet. They will attempt to create fear within fleets. They will project visions of destruction, loss, and failure. They want hesitation, and we will not give it to them. Across human space, energy flowed through hidden networks. Fleets moved as one. Ships appeared where they were not, disappeared when necessary, and responded instantly to any shadow maneuver. Every anomaly was corrected before it could cause harm. The shadows sensed something new. Humans were different. Every attack, every illusion, every strike was countered with precision. They could not break morale. They could not force chaos. They could not predict the patience and endurance of humanity.
On Earth,
Mira addressed her council. The shadows are testing us, yes, but every failure they experience strengthens us. We endure. We protect. We prepare. That is our advantage. Power without understanding is meaningless. We have understanding, and that is why we survive. Leo monitored energy levels carefully. The outer rings of defense extend protection to nearby colonies. They will survive even if Shadow Fleet strike directly.
our systems hold.
We are prepared for anything.
Anna,
The historian reminded civilians and scientists connected to the network.
the shadows feed on fear.
They do not understand hope, patience, or unity.
That is why we endure.
That is why we survive. The shadows tried to manipulate perception again. Entire fleets appear destroyed. Communication lines seemed compromised. Panic should have spread. But humans acted as one. False readings were corrected. Ships remained in formation. Communication remained clear. Morale did not falter. Aaron studied their hesitation. They expected fear. They expected chaos. Humans give neither. They have waited for this moment. They are ready. Mira issued orders. Maintain calm. Do not attack unnecessarily. Observe, respond, protect. Let them reveal themselves fully. Our patience is our strength. The shadows realized their ancient tactics failed. They had faced countless civilizations, but none had endured like humans. They could manipulate space, perception, and energy, but humans had mastered patience, strategy, and unity. John adjusted fleet positions. Every movement is a response to them. We do not panic. We do not attack blindly. We act with knowledge and precision. Across human colonies, defensive networks hummed with energy. Fleets, stations, and planets were linked as one organism. Attacks meant to cause chaos were neutralized. Fleets moved unpredictably yet coordinated perfectly. Every human system acted together. The shadows sensed frustration. They could not force hesitation, confusion, or fear. Their attacks, illusions, and probes all failed. Humans endured every strike, responded instantly, and protected their own. Mira spoke quietly to her officers. This is what we waited for. Every test strengthens us. Every strike teaches us. Humanity survives not through raw power, but through patience, strategy, and unity. We endure where others fall.
John added, they will escalate further.
They may strike directly at Earth, but we are ready. Every system, every fleet, every person contributes. Humanity will survive. The shadows moved their main fleet toward the heart of human territory. Their strategy was simple: overwhelm the defenses, create fear, and destroy. But humans had anticipated this. Energy flowed through hidden networks, linking orbital stations, fleets, and colonies. Gravitational fields shifted attacks. Energy nets redirected movements. Shields absorbed and reflected pressure. Every attack was neutralized without unnecessary violence. Mira observed silently. Patience and unity are stronger than any attack. We will endure. Across human space, the Shadows attempted their final test. They projected illusions of massive human fleet destruction, communication breakdowns, and planetary collapse.
Civilians and scientists connected to the networks saw visions of failure.
Entire colonies appeared destroyed. Panic could have spread like wildfire. But humans acted instantly. Systems identified false readings, corrected them, and coordinated responses. Fleets remained in formation. Communication remained uninterrupted. Morale remained unshaken. Aaron watched from his station. They are learning now. They see that humans are not like other species. They cannot break unity, patience, or strategy. The Shadows hesitated. For the first time in centuries, they experienced doubt. They had never faced a species that could withstand fear, confusion, and loss while remaining perfectly coordinated. Mira addressed her council. This is humanity's strength. Not weapons, not fleets, not numbers. Our strength is patience, strategy, and unity. That is why we survive. That is why we endure. John adjusted fleet movements one last time. Every ship, every station, every energy field acted as one organism. Every shadow attack was anticipated, countered, and neutralized. Nothing reached the colonies. Nothing threatened the fleets. Humanity had mastered defense without chaos. The Shadows realized the truth. They had expected a species that would panic, falter, or break under pressure. Instead, they faced patience, precision, and unity. They had underestimated humanity's ability to endure and protect. Aaron sent a final report to Earth. The Shadows cannot break what has been built over centuries. They cannot destroy humans because humans have waited, learned, and prepared. They will retreat or adapt endlessly, but they will never understand. Mira stood quietly on the command deck, watching the Shadows hesitate at the edge of human space. We have survived their first attack. We will survive the next. And the galaxy will see why humans endure when others fall. Across human systems, fleets moved calmly. Colonies remained untouched. Communication was uninterrupted. The energy networks hummed. Humanity had faced the Shadows and survived without chaos, without panic, and without defeat. The Shadows withdrew, sensing their efforts had failed. They could strike again, but they now understood something they could never change. Humans were not weak. Humans were patient. Humans were united, and that made them stronger than any force the galaxy had known. Mara turned to her council. The battle is not over, but the first test is complete. Humanity has survived. We will protect ourselves, our colonies, and the galaxy with patience, strategy, and unity. And when the Shadows strike again, they will find themselves facing more than ships. They will face a species that cannot be broken.
John nodded. We have shown strength without aggression. We have endured without chaos.
We are prepared for whatever comes next. Leo adjusted controls one last time.
All systems stable. Every fleet coordinated.
Humanity will survive this and any attack the Shadows send. Anna addressed the civilians and scientists. The Shadows will test again. They will strike again. But we are ready. We endure because we are united. We survive because we have waited, learned, and prepared. The Shadows retreated into the darkness. They had learned to respect humanity. They had felt frustration for the first time in centuries. They understood that raw power alone could not defeat a species that had mastered patience, endurance, and unity. Mira stood quietly watching the stars. Humanity waited in silence. We endured in shadows, and now the galaxy knows we are ready.
Aaron recorded his final observation for the day. They moved against us. They tested us.
And they failed. Humanity has survived the first strike of the shadows. The galaxy will never see humans the same way again. In the quiet aftermath, fleets returned to formation. Colonies resumed normal operations. Energy networks hummed steadily. Humanity had survived. Humanity had endured. And humanity had proved that waiting, patience, and unity could overcome even the most ancient and powerful threats in the galaxy. The shadows were still out there, but they had learned a lesson they would not forget. Humanity was not to be underestimated. Humanity was not weak. Humanity had waited, and now the shadows understood that patience could be more powerful than destruction. The galaxy had changed. The humans had waited in silence. And when the shadows moved, humans had responded, not with chaos, not with panic, but with unity strategy, and the patience that had carried them through centuries of waiting. Humanity survived. Humanity endured, and the galaxy would never forget it.